The problem with Umar, part 2 more. Peace, family. About 9 years ago, I made a video called The Problems with Umar. It went viral and it sparked a firestorm. At the time, I was being objective, and I'm being objective today. I wasn't attacking him. I'm not attacking him today. I was simply pointing out glaring inconsistencies and serious character issues even then. And I will link that video in this one. My own son, who was 12 at the time, was in the comments going back and forth, beefing with Umarians, defending me. I didn't even know the video had gone viral. My son was in the comments. Anyway, fast forward to about a week ago, and actually exactly a week ago, and my same son said to me, "You should make another video with everything that's going on." Last week I told him no, he's already getting dragged enough. And I'm not here to dogpile. That's not my thing. I just kind of try to point things out as I see them. Anyway, fast forward to today, and I'm like, what I realize is there is a problem that no one is addressing. And it's the problem with Umar. And here's the answer to that problem. Let me first say, disclaimer, I'm not a clinician. I'm not a doctor like Dr. Umar. But I am clinical adjacent, and I do have lived experience. Dr. Umar Johnson is exhibiting full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. And I'm going to lay my case out in an unbiased, emotionless, fact-based, irrefutable manner. I'm going to use the DSM-5, something Dr. Johnson is familiar with. In order to have narcissistic personality disorder, you need to have 5 of the traits. I have aligned all 9 of them with Umar's antics. Let's go. In 2025, here's what we're seeing now. And I was initially going to go back to the conscious stripper, Anaya S., SETI, and some other things. But nope, I'm going to start right here in 2025. He's now going back and forth with his daughter online instead of showing humility and accountability. He's attacking the child's mother with deflection and blame and disrespect. Well, both of them mothers, because he has 2 daughters. Well, they're saying that there are 3 children, but 2 that he openly claims. Allegedly, there's a 3rd child with a woman who is not much older than his daughter, Anissa. So that's allegedly. So we'll stick with what we know. Anyway, attacking the children's mothers with deflection, blame, and disrespect. Then his own father came forward with compassion, and Umar responded with vicious insults to his own father, threatening to change his last name even. Like, I don't know, it's giving father injury. He also got online to tell a story that backfired about his father. He was mad that his child's grandfather, his father, went behind his back to see the grandchild, his daughter, because he doesn't have a relationship with the mother, Umar. Instead of seeing that as a blessing, that at least someone has access on your side and, can see your baby, and I don't know, they can't act as you, but at least you could have some part in it. He didn't see it that way. He saw it as betrayal. To me, and to most people, that's going to show a complete lack of emotional maturity and empathy. Just for the shits and giggles, I polled several brothers in the streets just randomly because I wanted to know what they thought. And the general consensus was if they couldn't see their child, they'd be happy if their father could, and they'd probably try to get information on the child's well-being or send things through the grandfather, etc. But Dr. Umar doesn't think like that, because he thinks the way a person with malignant and or grandiose narcissistic personality disorder thinks. The women he's hurt. Let's talk about the women who've spoken up. The conscious stripper, Anaya A., Siobhan Stone, a.k.a. Lene Vonnie, I think. Each of these women tell the same pattern. The same things they're saying. Everything is the same. Love bombing, sexual exploitation, public humiliation, smear campaigns, and flying monkeys. Lure them in with what he does, and then they get all kind of googly-eyed and groupie-fied, sort of. No disrespect to them, but there's not full transparency when they tell their stories. If they told their stories with, but I respect them, and this is no shade to them, but some elements of the stories are missing from their part. Anyway, It's about long-term harm and reputation destruction with them. It's not just about like the breakups and or hookups that went wrong. He goes out to get them, and I guess he feels attacked because he gets exposed. They literally just tell things that kind of are true that they find out, and then he sends people to attack them in the process of him also attacking them. It's not good. Then there's the school that never was. Yo, come on. Let's be honest. There never was a real business plan. There was never a board, no budget, no timeline. Just slogans and emotional appeals and endless promises of Garvey Day openings that never were. He's raised money for over 13 years and never opened the school.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Instead, he lashes out at black people for not giving enough money or asking why the opening dates keep changing. Or why is it there's always some catastrophe around the grand opening?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Future faking much? If you ask questions, you're labeled as trifling.
Trifling ass black people.
If you challenge him, he'll threaten to block you or shame you publicly or put you in the book of Negroes.
Oh, man, see, y'all gonna make me write your name down. See, do I gotta add somebody to the book of Negroes tonight?
I'm sure my time is coming. Maybe I'll be called a YouTubian or a struggle streamer, or maybe I'll get called all kinds of COINTEL hoes. You know how he does. I don't know, but from past behavior and empirical Umar evidence, it won't be good for me. And that's cult leader behavior. That's cult behavior. He's following the same playbook as Nature Boy, except with a better vocabulary and no physical violence that we know of. Although that remains to be known because his daughter hints at allegations of abuse. So, the traits of a malignant narcissist, and I'm going to show you how he has them. Here's how his behavior lines up with narcissistic personality disorder. The grandiosity. Umar claims to be a savior, a descendant of Frederick Douglass, which has been publicly disproven. Despite his family coming out, Frederick Douglass's, and disproving Dr. Umar's claim, he still says it. He still holds on to that. Classic narcissistic personality disorder trait. With proof in their faces, they will still cling to the lie. Fragile ego. Flips out when embarrassed, lashed out, and people question him. Have we seen this? Yes. Lack of empathy. He mocks women after intimacy. He berated his daughter, disrespected his father and daughter's mother's smear tactics, shares fake supporter DMs to shame women. Maybe some of them are real. Either way, it's not behavior becoming of a school principal or anyone having anything to do with anyone's children, for that matter, if we're being honest. The flying monkeys. Narcissist, anyway, he sends supporters to harass anyone who speaks out.
I'm summoning my flying monkey!
And we've all seen it. He even says things like, I could get to the work and I could do what I need to do if y'all would handle my light work. Dog whistling. What else does he do? The false image control. He carefully curates his motel and hotel corners and hides his chaotic living conditions. Siobhan Stone said I'm sorry about the Oz, I'm trying to not do this filler thing. Siobhan said that he's really paranoid about people seeing his mother's residence or knowing where he resides. That's not indicative of a community leader. That's indicative of someone trying to control their perception and image. Performative control. Pretended to take a call from goons and got caught when the phone rang. Y'all remember when he was beefing with SETI. And what did
Papa Smurf. That Papa Smurf shit ain't gonna get us nowhere. That Papa Smurf shit ain't gonna get us nowhere. You feel me? Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this.
does that. It's not good. And he didn't even, he could laugh it off and clean it up. He didn't. Just kept going because narcissistic personality disorder. Controlling behavior. He believes he's cut off from his child, so everyone else should be too, even the grandparents. In what world, what man with integrity would agree with that? hoarding and neglect. Allegedly lets his disabled mother live in squalor while claiming to be her full-time caregiver. We've seen an accidental peek of how he lives, so it's easy to believe.
.com, FDMG resumes at gmail.com, FDMG resumes at gmail.
Repetition. Repeats phrases 3 times to imprint ideas in followers' minds. Classic manipulation, cultist behavior. He doesn't release power. He doesn't have an assistant or any kind of regular administrative staff around him.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Okay, I'm coming to the end of my spiel here. I was saying that he repeats phrases 3 times to imprint ideas in followers' minds. Classic manipulation, cultist behavior. He doesn't release power. He doesn't have an assistant or any kind of regular administrative staff around him. He has to do everything, because if he releases power, people will get too close to him and they will see what's behind the mask. Narcissists create carefully crafted bubbles to keep everyone out of. If they relinquish any power, it means someone will get to know them more than they want them to. That's going to burst the bubble, and he cannot have that. Supporters are waking up, though. Even that longtime supporter, what's his name? Derek something, I think. I know it begins with a D, but people are walking away because narcissistic relationships never last. They just can't. There comes a time that the future faking, triangulation, all the things blow up and they implode, and the narcissist can no longer carry the story or maintain the bubble. So yeah, his supporters are starting to walk away. His longtime diehard supporters are starting to walk away. At some point, like I said, it becomes undeniable. When the pattern's this loud, this long, and this dangerous, silence is no longer an option. Now, my personal experience and objectivity with Dr. Umar. Let me say this. I've always tried to be fair. About 3 to 4 years ago, Dr. Umar invited me to work at one of his lectures in my state. This is after I reached out and had a conversation about my first video that had gone viral about him. We made amends. I listened to him. He said some very human things, took them all into account objectively. I took the video down. It's back up now with all this stuff going on, let me say. Anyway, when he came to my state, I witnessed an almost sold-out crowd of well over 100 parents, each having paid upwards of $500 for a 2 or 3 day seminar. He was also selling boxes and boxes of his books for $50 a piece, and they did sell out. I saw that with my own eyes, that he could earn a generous living without relying on donations. So I saw his ability to make money. I don't know. He also paid me sufficiently that night. I did not volunteer.
Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.
I also co-hosted, not co-hosted, I should say, maybe just was like kind of on the panel. He would have me up on the panel when he did Clubhouse a few years ago. I think that was the only time he did Clubhouse, as a matter of fact. So there was no bad blood or anything like that. This is just my honest, objective, unbiased observation as someone who was cool with him. Although I'm sure he won't like me after this. Oh, well, 2 things can't be hidden forever, and those are the moon and the truth, honey. So I present this with full objectivity. I'm not a hater. I'm not a struggle streamer. I'm not a YouTubian. I really only pop up on YouTube once every couple of years or something, just to throw something out that I was thinking of. I had never had any intentions on making a career or even gaining traction on YouTube. Just occasionally I say what I want to say. I do like making TikToks about narcissistic personality disorder, though, so I'm over there on TikTok as Your Narcissist Whisperer. So yeah, my final thoughts. This is part 2 to the answer to the problem with Umar. The answer is he has narcissistic personality disorder. This is not a diagnosis, just truth aligned with every... You can pause to... Oh, I already said that part. Yeah, you can pause to read my little outline that clearly lines up his behaviors with narcissistic person. All right. You can pause to read my little outline that clearly lines up his behaviors with narcissistic personality disorder. And as someone who has recently dedicated her TikTok to talking about narcissistic personality disorder, he tracks perfectly. We didn't always have the information or the language to clock narcissists, but we do now, and it's time more of us call it out. Now, I hope this brother gets the help that he needs. He most likely won't, because narcissists tend to not recognize that they're narcissists because they think that they're perfect and they're better than everybody and they can do everything. But in the event that the good brother does recognize it, I hope he gets the help that he needs.